Well, here we are. Okay. Welcome, welcome, welcome. How's it going? There's a few people here. This is exciting. I've never done like an official live cast before, so these were all just sort of thrown together, but this one is super planned out and super intentional, so I'm so excited to do this. I feel so grown up. Thanks for jumping on, everybody. I'm really excited. So our guest today is someone so special to me. She was one of the very first people that whenever I joined the Saint world, I was just like awestruck by her. And hopefully she'll be joining here in just a minute. Yeah, so I was just awestruck by her. Okay, hold on, she's here. Accept.
Here I am. What's up? I'm gonna separate this. Step this back. Wait, I can't hear you. I can't.
Might be,
There, now I can.
okay, yeah, I turned my Bluetooth off, I think. Okay, so just, facts of the situation. I have no power in my house right now. Of course, just like, this is just life trying to like do everything possible to derail you from, the success that you dream about. But that's...
You're paused.
Am I paused again?
No, now I got.
Okay.
Now I got you.
So anyhow, I have no power, but that's fine. I charged my phone in my car for 30 minutes before this because ain't nothing stopping this train, this crazy train.
Yeah, baby.
Not today.
Not today.
Not today. Okay, so this is so exciting because, first of all, I'm going to embarrass you a little bit and gush on you, which I know makes you uncomfortable, but you're just going to have to sit tight and let me do it.
Okay.
Okay. So Jocelyn Mcclellan, for those of you guys that don't know, I'm shocked that there's anyone in the world that doesn't know who you are. When I first joined Saint, I remember, obviously following so many of the leaders at the time. We were all just like sort of wet behind the ears and didn't know anything, except there were a few people that actually already did know what they were doing a little bit, at least in my eyes. People like Savannah Polson and Jocelyn Mcclellan and Rachel Jacob and Kat Fairchild. Those were like the top four in Harmony. You guys were like the epic level queens. And so I remember getting invited to the very first leadership trip out in Tahoe. I don't think it was the first one, but the second one anyway. Yeah. And I remember walking into that room and being like, okay, I'm here with like 15 other ladies, some of whom are just like the internet unicorns of the world, and being scared shitless to talk to you. like truly so nervous. And, but then of course, you are just so incredible and welcoming and warm and open and beautiful. And now, we could share the same bathroom and, share clothes and share so many things.
We have
so many stories. So we've come a long way, baby.
Yes. If it weren't for you when I got my suitcase when that got lost, I would have gone naked everywhere.
Correct. Thank goodness. Thank goodness for a friend that has relatively the same size.
Yeah.
So anyway, there's so many things that I could say about Jocelyn. Not only just her beauty is it just radiates from the inside out. And her knowledge of so many different, a broad array of topics, from fitness to beauty to hair to, just so many things. Not to mention that she is got such a beautiful family and seems to, on the surface, and we can get into this, like balance it all, she really truly is the girl that has it all. And so we want to demystify some of those things and like pinch you a little bit and make sure that everyone knows that you are actually a human being and not some robot from outer space that happens to just plug herself in every night and is actually human. So
I'm like a Tesla car.
Yeah, that's right. right. And then we're going to actually dive into a little bit of this project that has been just stirring in my soul a little bit for quite a while. Just about like how we kind of show up in the world, how we present ourselves. You know, first impressions mean so much. I remember my first impression of you. I'm sure you remember your first impression of me. Like, what did that say? Like, when we appear in front of people that we don't know and we've never met, like, what does this communicate, right? Are we intentional about it? Are we being, you know, thoughtful about how we show up in the world? And so we're going to dive into a little bit of that. Jocelyn was a boutique owner, has supported boutique businesses, so like tried and true for so long. And just has really kind of stayed so true to her own style and aesthetic and what that says about her and how she's communicating that out into the world, and maybe some pitfalls or things that she had to kind of overcome, maybe mindset wise. We're going to get into all of that. So anyway, welcome my beautiful unicorn friend, Jocelyn Mcclellan. Everybody in the chat, just throw some hearts up for her. I'm saluting you with my, you know, LaCroix water here. I know that the title of this is Champagne Supernova, but that is just the title. We are saluting you. Cheers to you, babe. You know, it's 10 a.m., so I don't need to be drinking at this hour. Okay, so I am just like, can you just tell them a little bit about, you know, maybe just, we'll start with some career stuff and just kind of how you have built such a beautiful online business, and just kind of we'll start there and kind of build on.
Okay. Well, thank you seriously for having me. When you asked for it, I was honored because I admire Katie. I will never forget, I'll make this super quick too. So we're at this event. We're all in formal dresses. We have to walk across a crosswalk to get to the event that we're going to. And here comes Katie in this yellow dress that just will knock your socks off. And she's just owning every step she takes. And it was almost like if she were to put her arm out with the cars that were coming, that they would immediately stop because they're just so bewildered at this beauty that she is. Dude, not even okay. So I just so
You're
I love
so
her.
sweet. I remember that event. It was like the first time I met any of you guys in Salt Lake.
Yeah.
I think I was in the company maybe like 4 or 5 months at that point.
Oh, well, you came in guns a-blazing like,
oh, I'm
this
glad
is
I
Katie.
did that because I felt like a lost puppy.
No, you're amazing. Amazing. So my career path looks like this. Okay, I want you to just like, so mom to young kids. My oldest at the time was, I think, 10. Okay, my youngest was 2. And always my dream as a woman was to be a stay-at-home mom. I went to hair school because I knew hair school I could either do that as a passion, but I could cut my kids' hair. Yeah. Like I could serve my family in that way. So that was huge for me. And I love hair. So then my husband teases me like, you can't even turn on a computer, you know? So that is my background of just like, I have no organizing system. I was the one always paying bills. Mind blown, they got paid. Like, you know, there was never any of that. My dad taught me to balance a checkbook. That's as much as I knew, but I didn't even know how to take care of money the best that I could. So in comes Saint, and I hate it. I truly had a fear of direct sales because people would just like, hey, Jocelyn, I know we haven't talked for 5 or 10 years, but will you have a party for me? You know, so all of that. She says me, yeah, okay, we're on the same path. So I decided that, you know what, this could be one, it's makeup, love it. This could be something that I love. So I went from no background. But I did come from a background of, if you're going to do something, you better dang well do it, and you better do it right, and you better work hard. Because if you're going to take your time and put it into something, and I didn't know then what I know now, time is money. Your time that you put into anything is money, right? Yeah. So I didn't value my time. So I'm just going with it. And that's when I was like, wait. And before I decided to be a Saint artist, I had to try to make it because I'm never going to do something that I don't have, like, I at least know something of, right? So I tried it and it didn't work out too perfect for me because my colors were way off. We didn't have anybody that could help color. We had like 6
colors, right, at the time.
Yeah. Right. And so, but I was like, hey, wait, this can all fit, you know, it was like crossing off all these things that I travel all the time and it could go like that. So I go into it and every day I'm like, Brady, this is so fun putting on my makeup. This is so cool putting on my, you know, whatever.
Discovery process.
Yes.
Was so freeing and illuminating, and the connecting that we were doing, and it was just beautiful. Yeah.
So, and it just snowballed into more. So I didn't have the background of like XYZ equals XYZ. You know, I just
had that. That's so beautiful because so many of the women that were watching, they didn't go to like cosmetology school either. So you made it so relatable for them, you know, like if you can do it, they can do it kind of thing.
Yeah. And that's what I literally, like, I didn't have, blogging. I had done Instagram beforehand for like chapbooks to journal for my kids. I had a blog. I don't remember what it was called, that I was journaling kind of through it. Back in the days, we'd do like Blogspot.
Yeah.
But that was it.
Yeah.
And now my path is, I mean, I'm a super humble person, so I probably will keep everything more so to myself, but my path is now, I am successful in the sense of I have thousands of women who trust me with their beautiful face. I was able to start my own online boutique. I've been able to counsel and motivate thousands of women, and I've been able to hit goals and soar at something that I never knew existed. But honestly, probably one of my biggest things is I now know how to control my mindset. It's a battle, but because of working and because of trying to excel at myself personally, I now have like oh, Joss, you want that? Okay, go get it, but it's going to require.
I just love creeping inside of this brain of yours. And so many of the really successful women, I hate when people say, oh, well, you have so many followers, I'm sure it's easy for you. Or Jocelyn, you're so beautiful, I'm sure it's so easy for you. No, literally this is the difference between you and so many other women. You do not have a quitter's mentality, you have a figure it out mentality. Okay, that didn't work, so now I have to figure out what went wrong, how do I pivot and go back and try again to do it again. And you know, you've obviously, for someone that has no organizational skills and barely, you know, could figure out which day the bills could be paid, also figured out a way and systems to be able to scale your business. I mean, that right there is like, you know, when the getting is good, you're like, oh my gosh, have all this accidental success in the beginning because you worked hard and because you were yourself. You had to figure out how to take this bomb of success and make it so that you weren't letting things go through the cracks. I mean, so kudos to you. I mean, guys, listen, I've sat in hotel rooms when everyone else is out enjoying themselves at conferences with her and Savannah, and they're in the room on the computer answering color matches and like working on their business. And that is how they're, you know, that's how they're doing it. There's no secret sauce. It's ambition, and it's the fact that they really care. They really care about the people that they're serving. So your success is no accident. No accident at all.
Thank you. It's definitely been so much work, and of course, if I could go back, I would change things. But at the same time, I wouldn't. Like any of my hardships or anything, I probably wouldn't change because I wouldn't be who I am today from it. But on the same thread, because of the career path I've chosen, I wouldn't see, and this isn't like that people can't get this from their career path, but because my career path, I worked on mindset, I wouldn't have been able to see that the challenges that were presented to me in my life, I could make those be a positive outcome because of how I learned to deal with hardship.
Right. The setback is the setup. People don't plug that together. They don't, you know? Yeah.
Because I mean, all of us watching this in the whole entire world has had hardships like none other that we would never wish upon anyone. So for my own personal self, the hardships I've had, I would never wish on anyone. But I honestly feel that back even before saying, with the health issues that I've had, and probably other people have heard me say this, and if you have, I'm sorry, but I was in a negative headspace because I was always making an excuse for why I couldn't go somewhere because of my stomach. I've had a bad stomach since I was 14. And Brady said to me one day, he says, "Why are you such a pessimist?" And I was like, I am not.
How dare you?
How dare you?
Right.
I'm somebody who processes. I take the time to process, and I was like, wait, he's right. I've taken all the excuses that I was always giving about my stomach, and I put it into an excuse for life, an excuse for anything. And so I remember the very first time was when I started working out. My mom had suffered these heart attacks, and I am probably one of the closest daughters to her genetically wise for like body build and all of that I was like, this could be me. Yeah. And so that's why I started working out. I didn't start working out because I was like, oh, I want muscles, because clearly we can see these twigs. They don't do what Katie's does. But I started working out, and I found this lady, her name's Jessie Hilgenberg, and she was all about helping me gain weight when all the other fitness people were, we want to lose weight today, and right. And it was that moment that I took my very first plane ride by myself. I did it all by myself, and I had to rent the car, I had to do everything, and I was scared out of my mind because that's with having stomach issues, that escalates it even more. Right. And that was when I first realized that I could be an independent woman. Yeah. That I could do the dang thing. Yeah. And that was my pivotal, and that was before Saint came. So I just. Yeah,
you were already kind of like on a micro level, sort of blowing your own mind of what you were capable of achieving, just in the small, quiet moments with yourself, that pushing the envelope, again and again, and the satisfaction that came with those small wins started to kind of snowball. Yeah. So can I switch gears a little and ask you my next question? Yeah. So what do you do for fun? Tell them what you do for fun.
Oh my gosh. So I think fun is had when you let go. Amen. So I think my answer before would have been like I love to quilt, I love to work out, I love to whatever. And just this past year, it actually is why I ended up getting a tattoo. We'll go into that later, but I started realizing that the fear of whatever is what made it be like, what do you do for fun? I don't know. When now it's just like, you want to dance around, you want to play, you want to go outside and go for a walk, you want to go hiking, so fun to me
spontaneity is like fun for you. Because you're not overthinking everything anymore.
Right, exactly. But I love the outdoors. Yeah. Give me anything that I can even get my hands dirty. Like, we're working on our backyard, or shoveling cow crap. I did horse crap. Like, anything that I can feel like I am putting forth an effort is fun for me. But I love the outdoors. We love surfing on the boat. I love camping. I love just exploring. I just think that I look around and I'm like, oh my gosh, we are so blessed. Yeah. So I'm more of that explorer fruitcake as far as fun goes. I hate shopping. That's why I online shop.
Yeah. Well, that's actually an excellent question, like a lead-in for someone that hates shopping. Do you feel like you have like a clear sense of what your own personal style is? Like if I had to ask you to describe your style to me, like what would you say? Like if I was a blind person and you're like, this is my vibe.
Yeah. My vibe is keep it simple. Like my vibe is if I don't feel comfortable in it, I don't want to wear it. But my vibe is also like, how can I make some people go, wow,
Yes.
and and so I kind of have different levels of it. Like I have to be in the comfort zone, but it's got to be comfortable to me.
Okay.
And it's not usually sweatpants. So
just let me put you in some scenarios. So everyday work from home is like, describe that outfit. This beautiful thing you've got going on here. Yeah?
So everyday work from home, I'm getting dressed. So I truly feel that when you get ready for the day, you feel a million times
mind.
more
You're stepping into a role. That's not,
that.
I'm going to bed.
But I like, so my style is that, like, if you can take something so simple, so basic, and it's literally like what you did too. You take pieces that are so simple, so basic, and then add your character, add your style, add your own flair to you, and then utilize what's in your closet. That's my style. So I went and got a grandma's doily and threw it on too. No, just kidding. This thing. But my style is just like, how can you show up as your own personal flair and not feel like you're every Pinterest chick or like influencer out there that wears all the neutrals? Because I like to keep things pretty neutral so I can wear them with way different pieces.
Capsule is good. Capsule is.
I'm totally a capsuler. Yes, I'm totally a capsuler.
Yep. I tried for a period of time to be like exclusive capsule, like so much white, gray, and black in my wardrobe. And I found it to be, I still was wanting to reach for some of these like brighter, bolder pieces. And I was like, you know what? Listen to that. Like, it's okay. Like, just because you're trying to simplify and be a minimalist and like do more with less stuff and like kind of capsule down, at the same time, like, not everyone is going to be, you know, why can't I think of it? Like, Michael Kors. Michael Kors wears a t-shirt, a black t-shirt, and he wears it every day. Same thing with Apple Guy.
Yes. Steve
Jobs. Yeah. Black turtleneck every day. Diane Keaton, who is one of my favorite all-time fashion icons, always wears turtlenecks or a collared shirt. That's her, but she's made it past that, where she's so stylish and she's big with accessories and big with big coats and lots of big grand hats. And so again, she does capsule. She has her thing that is her, she stays in her lane, but she's also carved out the fact that she can mix it up. So I love that. Okay, so that's work from home. Now take me to a state event where we have to get like dressed up, right? Take me there. Like when you're shopping for that dress, that red carpet look, like what is important to you?
So I used to stress myself out on that. And actually this year, I was my first year that I was like, I'm just putting on something simple.
Yeah.
And I didn't like the fact that there was 3 people that had my same dress, but
same.
But I was comfortable.
Yeah.
And so this year I covered my chest. It was kind of looser here, but then it flowed down through, and I just felt comfortable, and it made me feel so good. But when it comes to events, so I had started packing my bags probably 3 weeks before, and what I was starting packing, and I'm like, no, this year I'm owning me with my flares, with my touches, and I'm going to feel comfortable in everything that I wear instead of like, oh, I shouldn't have dressed that way. And this was the funnest year that I've ever dressed because I looked at my style differently, I think, this year than all before. Before, I was just trying to dress how I thought Saint artists would dress, like at corporate level. Yeah. Because our corporate company, they always give you like ideas, like color.
Oh, they give us mood boards. They know that this is a 4 day event where every single event has its own sort of dress suggestions. So they'll provide us like with a mood board, a color board, something like that. Because when we do group photos, they want that aesthetic. But we all get to interpret it in a way that is us, which I love. Yeah. And I also think that it's never a mandate. It's just a suggestion. Like, they're not ramming it down our throats like you have to wear this or whatever. Like, that's not what our company is about. I think it's about giving women an excuse to get dressed up. I mean, so many of us own all these beautiful things in our closet with nowhere to go. And so it gives us that reason. I love getting ready to go to a Saint conference, or because it just is an opportunity to kind of pull out those things and go and dress in a way that you don't get to on a daily basis.
Yeah,
so,
yeah, exactly. Yeah. I love it. And I do love that they color code it too, because the pictures, everybody
are so beautiful.
Incredible.
They are, so they're just such good memories.
And they're taking.
I would add to your comfort thing is that for me, I know that whenever I'm getting dressed for like a big event, one where I know I might get photographed a lot, the tailoring and the fit is always so important. I'll never forget that dress that you wore a couple of years ago when you won the top, and it was when we were still not Artist 5, 6, and 7s. It was like the top ambassador of the year award. So proud of you. The pink dress, it was so, the tailoring on it, I mean, it fit you like a glove, girl. It was so beautiful, and so simple. Like, it was just a very beautiful color pink, long sleeve, very tailored, very form-fitting, and it was a knockout dress. It was just so beautiful. So
I want to wear that one again sometime.
You definitely should. You definitely
love
should.
It. See, and before I would have never worn the same thing again, and now I'm like, no, bring it back. Like,
totally.
I've just changed so much this year, but it came down to the core of just who do you want to be?
Yeah.
And
well, my next question was, how has your style evolved over time?
So I think how my style evolved is before I really looked at what boutiques were wearing, and so I was that. I looked at what my friend was wearing that I thought was in style, and I messed with that. I looked at what I was being made fun of as a teenager, and I went away from that.
Oh yeah.
And I looked at what everybody else was instead of who I was on the inside. Right. And I think this year, with some of the battles that I faced earlier this year, is I had to really search inside myself, and I found that Joss, where's your grit coming from? Like, what do you want to show you for who you are? Like, take out that people made fun of you for being a cowgirl. Take out that your friend dresses one way and you're trying to impress her. Take out that that's what the boutiques are wearing, so you should have that. You know, who are you from the core?
Yeah.
And the core for me was take all of this off, take everything but this little guy right here, and that's in here. Take everything off but that, strip myself completely naked, and then redress myself. And this little diamond right here was my purchase, my buy from Sarah Briggs, where I had it just be made for me. And where do I go from there?
Yeah.
And where I went from there was, and honestly, I had to look at what was in my closet and get rid of what didn't take care of me anymore. But it was like, I am a simple person. Yeah. I wear simple makeup. I want a hairstyle that doesn't take long to style.
Yeah.
I want clothes that I don't have to iron all the time. I want to be comfortable all day long. I want to look classy and comfortable all day long. Mm-hmm. And I'm just sick and tired of buying for everybody else so I fit their mood board instead of my own.
Amen. I love that. There's so many things that we have to think about. Like, where do we have to go on a daily basis? Do we have to get dressed to go out into the world, or are we kind of like not interacting with many humans? But even if we're not, like, do we still want to feel like we're putting ourselves out there, like we're getting ready and getting dressed? Like, even our climate has to do with like how comfortable we'll be during the day. It's hot in Florida, so that's a consideration. Like, again, going into your closet and purging out things that like might feel like the comfortable old sweatshirt, but is it really good for you? Like, I don't know. So even that process is you just go through such a period of discovery, you know? And it's like, if you don't feel so good in it, like that you could run into like anyone in the world, like the person you would fear the most running into, then it's gotta go. It's gotta go, you know? I also feel like when I'm shopping now, I want to have basic pieces, of course, like, and high quality basic pieces. And one of the things that I was shocked when I kind of went through my closet purge about a year ago with my girlfriend, Karen, who she'll be on this eventually too. She's an amazing stylist. She's like, Katie, there's a snag in this. Katie, there's a small hole in this. Katie, the hem is starting to come out. And then you have to really get clear on, would I spend the money to go get this tailored or fixed? Does it mean that much to me? Is it that high quality of an item that I would do that? Or why am I holding on to it? Because you know what's going to happen? You're going to go to your closet, you're going to pull it out, and you're going to be like, oh yeah, there's that stupid stain I can't get out. And then you hang it back up. Why would you do that? Don't hang it back up. You know what I mean? Like, downgrade, make it a wash rag, or make it, upcycle it somehow. Send it to the Goodwill. Whatever you need to do. Like, you know, it's amazing the things we hold on to sentimentally, even though it's really, if you get clear on things, you don't have to hold on. The letting go is so much freedom.
That's what I learned so much this year. It's the letting the freak go of judgment, of fear, of who you once were, of what other people will think of you.
Yeah.
And that is where your closet lies, because your closet tells stories. Like,
Oh, yeah.
we don't think, because a lot of people are just like, my clothes are boring, my clothes are they don't fit me right. That's your story. Your story is, you think you're boring. You're not invested in how things look like on you. You're not invested in what things look like on you. You throw on clothes, you probably throw on your hair.
You're not put them on and you're like, if I only, if I only lose 10 pounds
like
or whatever, then I'll look great in it. You're comparing yourself to what someone else might look like in it, or some catalog that you bought it from, and it doesn't look like you on you the way that it looked on, you know what I mean? Like, it's crap.
It's comparing to everybody else, and you will serve yourself to your core. Speaking of that mindset stuff that I talked about in the beginning, and like where I grew up and where I'm from, I'm actually from this small hick town. And I got made fun of for being a cowgirl, and the cowgirl was my roots. Like, it was everything I knew. Every Saturday I was mucking stalls. Every Saturday we were working our horses. Every Saturday we were going to do something. I didn't get to play. I didn't get to be with friends. I didn't get any of that. And so here I am trying to not show my roots because this boy, I had a crush on this boy all through school. He'd never ever liked me, which is fine. But like, I was so trapped with what he would say, and he would call me a cowgirl, and I was not okay with that. So I moved away from my roots in the fact of like me emotionally, okay, I won't dress Western, I won't with this. And now what style do I crave? The Western life.
Boots and hats, girl.
Boots and hats. So I'll have a basic outfit. Like, I would so throw on one of my cowboy hats with this outfit.
Yes.
And I would throw on booties with this outfit too.
And that's
but I would also wear white sneakers with this outfit.
That is the Joss I know. When you are you are the most relaxed you when I see you dressed like that. It might be a denim mini skirt and your boots and a hat and some cute, like, funky jacket, like you, or a blazer. Like, you have a way of taking the country girl and really modernizing her, and infusing that kind of the Pinterest worthy looks, but you stay on that, and I love that. And I see you shining and just so yourself when you're in that. That is the most I ever see you.
That's why I loved conference this year, because so my outfits, I was trying to go like really Western with them, and I was like, in the beginning, because it was in
San Antonio, for those of you guys that don't know. So really, but you were tapping hard into the Western.
Yeah, so like San Antonio themselves, they're not Western people, just so we're very clear. But they're
I know you know Texas better than anyone too.
Yeah. But the theme was like a glamish, cowgirly type theme.
Yeah. And
so I was first gonna go all out Western, and then I was like, no, I'm doing my Western. So I dialed it in. I had a very basic outfit that is just, it was all black with black biker shorts and a black cowboy boots and a black Western hat and jewelry. And it was still the neutrals, but it was like it was me. I was home.
Yeah.
And I felt like
I was the same. I was exactly the same, except mine was like Western Madonna. Yeah. Western material girl. I had like a tulle skirt on and a leather belt and a mesh kind of t-shirt and a scarf. So it was still kind of had.
We go to events just to see what Katie's wearing.
Oh,
just so you know, we go to events.
I do have a good time pulling it all together. It's really one of my most favorite things to do when we have our conference. So maybe what we should do is, will you send me your favorite photo of you in that outfit, and I'll we can say, this is how you can take a theme and you offer up yourself to it.
Yeah.
And really, because I definitely felt so me in that outfit, which is so cool. And we'll do a side by side, and I'll put on my stories and tag you. So okay, awesome. Well, I love that. So let me ask you, was there anything in this journey that you felt was like a barrier? Obviously, you said like just the boy and how that kind of impacted your willingness to just stay in it, but then you kind of overcame that. Any other like obstacles or barriers that you feel like you had to kind of jump over? And second part of this question is, as being like an influencer online, just the pressure that you may feel because you're such an aspirational and inspirational person to so many people, myself included. You know, do you ever feel like when you're showing up in your online world that you have any hesitation about being, and I know you to say I am myself online. You are, I know you in real life, and so I can tell you that what you see, all the people watching, that what you see is what you get. But do you feel like a sense of responsibility, like to the people that are watching?
Yeah, I think this is where this convo gets real.
Yeah.
And then I'll try not to cry with. So being online is hard, in a way. I don't want to scare people from like growing their business, but especially for those who are growing it, I want to say this is so loud. I've catered my whole freaking life. I've catered to my parents. I've catered to the people in my hometown. I've catered to you all. I've catered to my customers, even with them not knowing, because I was trying to make sure I answer all the questions for them. I made sure that I'm giving them all the information. So I'm catering to everybody. I'm catering every ounce of my emotion that I've just felt I have nothing left to give. Yeah. And it doesn't mean that I'm burnt out. It means like I got nothing left to give you because I'm giving it all.
Yeah.
But the problem was how I looked at it. So the problem wasn't that I am catering to my clientele or I'm catering to the online world. The problem was I was giving people what they needed and not how I could reflect within it. So like not how, okay, this is fun, so I'm going to show you. It was like, hey guys, I know everybody's asking what they want. They want to know what this blush looks like, so I'm going to show you what this blush looks like.
Yeah, you kind of felt like a trick pony a little bit.
Yeah, and I just, this robotic, like, okay, another day, here we go. How are you going to make this one? Mm-hmm. And I remember sitting on the edge of this bed and just bawling to Brady because I was like, I hate this. Mm-hmm. I don't have anything left to give people. Yeah. And I just, dang you, Katie. Yeah,
so sorry. Sorry, not sorry. This is important. You're brave for saying all this. You are. I love you. You're so transparent. It's beautiful.
But it wasn't that I hated it, and it wasn't that I have nothing left to give. It was how I looked at it.
Yeah.
So this tattoo, happy as happy does. I went through a really hard thing in January, and the thing that I definitely can't share that because I do share too much on this page, but that's my own personal.
And you have that right. Like that's so important too. It's like we have boundaries. Like, you know, as much as we offer to, you know, in terms of like exposure, we still have private lives, you know, that we have to, and our children, and you know, we have to just kind of manage all that. So
through that though, it made my past come up, which I wasn't expecting. This was just something that I was dealing with, but here comes all my childhood heaviness. Yeah. I'm not going to call it trauma because I feel like the word trauma is overused because truly that's another story, but it's my heaviness, okay? It's all the heaviness that came, that reared its head, that I had not dealt with for years or even realized that was the effect because of something else. So all these things are hitting me and I go through a depression and I am like, I can't pull out of this. Like, what the heck is going on? And here comes Kenny Chesney's song, Happy as Happy Does. And if you haven't heard it, it came out during COVID. And this song talks about how this guy is just living his life. He just drinks, there's a line that says, drink a beer just because. I don't drink beer, but the fact that do something just because. Mm-hmm. And I was like, wait, I have anxiety. I've given myself the word, I have anxiety. So every time you say, I have anxiety, I am nervous. Yeah. I suck at this. I am fearful. You're putting that all onto you. You never, how rare do we say, I am happy. I love my life.
Yeah, your
This is
subconscious
great.
brain doesn't know the difference between you saying that and it being like real, or you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's just so, it's so crazy how our, you know, it's mind over matter. Sorry, I have to like,
Oh, you're good.
turn this a bit. I feel like I'm in the dark.
So that was when I was like, happy as happy does. Joss, if you want to be happy, you have to just do. Just do.
Yeah.
So, and
Yeah.
I have
Not because someone's asking you about it. Like, you do it because you want to.
Yes, exactly.
Right.
So once I realized happy as happy does, and I was like, okay, every day I wake up for work, I love what I do. Every time that I go talk to my children, I need to love them. Every time that Brady asks me something or he comes to me to hug me, I need to soak it in. Happy is what happy does. And if you want to create happiness through your style, through your makeup, through your hair, through your soul, through your hobbies, through your children, through your best friends, happiness has to be a do. You have to give. You have to want. And once I release the fear or the sucking the joy out of things or the I hate what I do, once I release that away,
obligation all the time, and not because you have the joy of doing it. It was a have to, not an I get to.
Exactly. Because how many times do we put even on the pair of pants and we're like, I don't want to do today. I don't want to get ready. I'm throwing my hair in a ponytail. I'm putting on a baseball cap. And so, but that's the mood. That's what we're bringing to the table. So as soon as I change the happy as happy does, I still have to fight for it. And that's why I put the tattoo right here, because I'm washing dishes and I'm like, oh, I need that reminder. You know? And so the minute, like, sometimes I'll get so involved with my children too that I won't even have looked at that tattoo or known it was there. Or the thought of happy as happy does. Okay, kids, will you stop? Kids, will you, while I'm doing the dishes, stop screaming, stop yelling. And that's when it's like, no, they're enjoying their life right now. Like, why are you the sucker? My son the other day did something, it got on my nerves so much, and the second I told him to stop it, I'm like, wait, why are you asking him to stop? He's living life. So if I could teach people to remove that pressure, that if you're feeling pressure from online people, then maybe you are looking at it differently. Or if you're feeling judged, or if you're feeling that you're judging other people, but maybe that's because you are feeling insecure on that thing that they just covered.
Right.
So the more that we can encompass that happy is, and we stop judging, and we stop, we stop paying attention to these things that we actually thought was a downer, then what really there's good within it, our lives change. Yeah. And that's changed so much this year.
I love that so much. Such great advice. So, well, my next question for you is, it's interesting because I think that if I was to ask maybe old Jocelyn, because I know even now, like, you are such a humble person, but there's something so illuminating and revealing about the growth. And so the question that I'm going to ask you next is, what's cool about being you now? And I feel like anytime that you ask a woman to give herself a compliment, it's like the hardest thing for them to do. But I know you're up for this challenge. So what's cool about being Jocelyn Mcclellan right now?
I feel like freedom. Yeah. I feel like I let myself just not give a flying flip anymore. I'm still working on it. Because sometimes I'll go back inside and I'm like, nope, you wanted freedom. Where's your freedom, Joss? But I feel like the freedom of just dancing around and like, my daughter and her boyfriend will come over and I'll say things to him and I'm like, just so you know, I say things to embarrass you on purpose. Yeah. It's okay.
Well, it's almost like, and I've gone through this too, like we were hiding in plain sight, It's like, and I put a heart in the chat if you can say that at some juncture in your life you were hiding in plain sight. Without a doubt, hiding in plain sight. That there is a you that is inside of you that is like, you know what, I got a whole lot more to say, or I got a whole lot more to express, or I have a whole lot more that I wish I could be walking in a truer path than I am.
What though? When you're hiding in plain sight, it's almost like you're asking to be hidden. Like
Oh, yeah.
you don't want
We're
people
afraid.
to find you.
No
Yeah.
lie. We're afraid of
Like we
something.
say we're hiding, but I feel like hiding in plain sight can be like two things. Like people just don't notice me and I don't get why. Okay, so there's like that. And then there's like, oh my gosh, people don't notice me because I'm literally doing everything I can to not be noticed, you know? Even just putting on all the natural colors and putting on the hat all the time and like, cause that's your safe space.
Right.
You've taken
wearing the hot pink dress
but,
is a little too risky. Yeah, someone might
but
see.
You know what I learned this year that I hope I can pass on to people? So the days that I feel in a slump, and the slump is kind of going a few days, I on purposely will wear new eyeshadows, a brighter lip, a bolder color. I will go back to it's like, then today needs to be the day that I wear the cowboy hat. Then today needs to be the day that I show the grit. So I'm telling you, if you're in a slump, search within yourself, how can today be the day I show my grit?
Correct.
And the grit will come out in your style, especially. So if there's like, let's say you keep wearing the same things, but you know you have a leather jacket in your closet, you go put on that dadgum leather jacket. Or you have Converse shoes, but you've never worn them, you've kind of been pretty bland with how you wear them, then you pull out a way to wear those Converses in a way that you're like, boom.
Yes.
You know?
Yes. So can I plug just like a quick plug, and then I want to ask you about the future you. So essentially what Jocelyn is talking about is the genesis for why I'm even doing this Instagram live series. So I'm developing an online course. I went through my own. Maybe I'll have Jocelyn ask me these same questions on a future episode, and then I can tell you guys my story about hiding in plain sight or people pleasing or feeling afraid to kind of be myself and get the tattoos and cut off my hair and all the things, the me that I am now versus the me that I used to be. Wildly different. And so, and the transformation of going from her to her was painful. I knew I would piss people off and disappoint people and anger people, but at the same time, I needed to. I felt compelled because I was like, we're not guaranteed tomorrow. So if I'm not going to be the me I know I can be, then I'm shortchanging my future self. I'm shortchanging my kids of an opportunity of watching me live authentically. And eventually, the people that really love you will get past the tattoos, they will get past the short hair, they will get past all of that, and they will see you shining in a way that really feeds them, because they're bearing witness to you just being yourself, and that's just it's the most incredible thing you can do. You owe it to the world to be yourself. So I knew that I had kind of gone through that for myself, and I was like, I bet there are so many people that are literally hiding in plain sight, that they have Pinterest boards full of these things that's just like all wishful thinking. And so what this course will do is it's going to kind of be this exploration of like, okay, let's look at those things that kind of turn you on, as far as like, hey, I always pin the leather jacket, but I don't own one, or I have all these, high top Air Jordans pinned, and I'm such a sneakerhead in my fantasy life, but in my real life, I'm wearing, kids or whatever. It doesn't matter. So you get what I'm saying. So we're going to kind of go through the exploration of that. So that course is coming, but we're also going to get into the why of it. Like, why? Why are we afraid? So it really will be a lot of personal development attached to that, like finding who you really are aesthetically. And really the 3 questions, and we'll wrap up our chat in the next like 10 minutes or so with talking about these questions, is how do you want to be seen? How do you want to be heard? And what do you want to leave them with? And these are 3 questions that I have asked myself so many times at so many different intervals across the last, 2 years, I'd say. When it comes to just walking into a meeting, when it comes to going to Saint Conference and being in front of a large audience, when it comes to just meeting someone for the very first time, or whatever, like, how do you want to be seen? How do you want to be heard? And what do you want to leave people with? And, I just look at you and I think, like, you're so brave and courageous, like all of the things, and the things that I know that a lot of the world at large doesn't know. Like, I just see you as such a brave, courageous human. And, I can validate and verify that what you do behind the scenes is just so mighty and so brave. But what scares you? What scares you? And then let's talk about those 3 questions a little bit.
what scares me on a surface level is people not liking me.
Yeah.
Like, truthfully.
Yeah.
Like, I have this fear of, because I feel like I need to explain myself since I am so open. I do have a fear of people not liking me because I'm just like, I'm a go with the flow kind of person. Why?
Yeah.
But
what's
then,
not to like?
yeah.
You're chill. Yeah.
But again, I think people are just so conforming their own thoughts and opinions to just crippling amount. But on a deeper level, my fear is my children going their separate ways and us losing that bond. And so, because I got two that are now graduated from high school, so they're gonna choose their partner, and is their partners going to work well together? So all of that, but my fear with that too, though, is the more I'm giving of my love to them and we have that family unity, the higher the chance is that that continues to grow.
And that's so difficult because it's like you also realize, and we all realize, that love isn't control.
Right.
It's not. It's not. You have to just let people be people.
Yep.
And trust that, that the love the exchange is there, and it will be. You're an amazing mom.
And I've learned that this year more than ever too, is my kids I can guide them spiritually, but it's their own spiritual path. I can love them continuously, but if I am holding them back because I'm making them conform to, no, I said it this time, no, I said this way, no, I said that.
Yeah.
I'm learning so much of like, no, I trust that you'll get that done because I did ask that you get it done, and I just need to say, you do you. And so just stuff like that. But those are probably my biggest fears.
Yeah. So today, right now, how do you want to be seen?
I want to be seen as someone who's learning, because I think it's a process, learning to live, learning to let go, learning to be themselves, and learning to, I'm not going to judge others, but I know others are going to judge. So the best thing I can do is make sure that I have a giving heart. And one day they'll maybe see that heart. And if they don't, that's not in my control. Yeah.
So you want to be seen as someone who really is open and loving and generous and kind and forgiving.
I'm not taking this in the political way and all of that, but none of that matters to me. All of this mama jamba, whose side are you on with politics, which I don't care. I love you for you.
Here's the truth of it. We could live 10 lifetimes and it'll still be the same in 10 lifetimes. Exactly. You know what I mean? So it's like, why are we getting all, at each other over it? Yeah. It's just such a...
I just want people to see who they are for who they are. Mm-hmm. And just because you like one little thing, not the same as somebody else.
Yeah, it's like you embrace people for our differences. Yeah. If we were all the same, the world would be so boring.
Exactly.
Right. Exactly. How do you want to be heard?
I want to be heard standing up for myself.
Love that. Love that. And what do you want to leave people with?
I want to leave people with the desire to let go of the worry of being judged, because who's ever judging you has no right to judge you. So let it go.
Yeah. So, I kind of got hit over the head with a cool kind of fact this year, that of all of the array of emotions that we feel, like grief and sadness and joy and think of a million, and then the combination of so many of them that we can feel all at one time. Really, when you strip away all the names of all the variants of emotion that we could feel as humans, there really are only two core ones. There's love on one side and fear on the other. So anytime that you're afraid of something or you feel something bubbling up, you have to say to yourself, is this love or is this fear? It can only be one or the other. And when you really simplify it and you distill it down, literally, if you're feeling anxiety for any reason, or if you're feeling just a red flag about something, or you're feeling just a little imbalanced about anything, say to yourself, I know that this is some level of fear happening, and what is that? And if you stop yourself and say, what am I actually afraid of? it almost like vaporizes right in front of you, or you're like, it's just like, it went from like this solid thing looking right at you to being like, yeah, it's not there. And then you just keep going.
Because you're like,
so
yeah,
that has offered me such a level of like the ability to kind of keep going, because I'm just like, I can catch myself and I can say, I need to put this on one column or the other here, one or the other. And then when it's almost like just like there's a monster under your bed, but not really, you know, it's kind of like that old feeling. Yeah. Okay. I'm just so excited. So honored and blessed that you've spent the last hour of your time with me. So I want to give people an opportunity for you to like, what upcoming projects do you have going on? How can I like promote you and anything that you have going on coming up into the end of 2023? Like what's new and exciting?
So, so in January, I had to make it's so crazy because in December, I made the decision to shut down my boutique. And in January was, because I was already not doing good health-wise, in January was when my life really got real. And it's so crazy how that panned out. But I had always told people that, because one of my passions so much was the jewelry part of my boutique. And the pieces that I had were like just boss pieces that everybody loved. And so I am going to be releasing some new jewelry here coming up. I know the boutique, I said, closed down and everything, but I told people to stay with me because there will be some awesome pieces of jewelry. There's
always more Jocelyn coming down the pipe, people. Don't think that just because that evolution came to a, you know, that there isn't more to come. There's always more to come.
Yes. So some pieces that I had in the past that everybody was obsessed with will be re-releasing. These little earrings, these are so stinking fun. So these ones they have these diamonds on the front, but they're not finished diamonds all the way around because that's the back and nobody sees that. But what it is these are the diamonds and here are diamonds. So people see diamonds.
Double diamond faces.
When they have the earrings in. So I have those in gold and I have them in silver. These earrings will be coming back. These are like the boho earrings in silver and in gold that people are obsessed with.
Oh yeah, little hammer detail on there. I love that.
And then this one, man, she was hit. So this one, Katie, you would love this.
I need
so this is silver and this is gold. And the necklace is like that, but you can kind of turn it so you wear it like fun like that, or you wear it straight on. And this was people's absolute favorite. So, but you have to be in the loop or else you won't know, because these are only going to be for a very, very short window that they're going to be available for. And so people need to get on my text so that they're alerted when it comes back. So the number, if you want to look up, we can do this two ways. So if you just go to Joss by Design, Joss by Design, that Instagram page, it has the number in it. Or if you guys have a pen right now, it's 1-844-650-0272, and you're just gonna plug in the words Joss, Joce, by Design, all one word, and you'll get in on the text thread so that you're notified when they go live. Because I will be letting people know ahead of time when it happens, but once it happens, they're only going to be around for a very, very, very short window. And then they're there, but it's all people's absolute favorites that my DMs are still loaded with. How can I get that? How can I get that? How can I get that?
Yeah. Well, here's what we'll do too. This live is going to get posted onto my page for forever. So in the caption, I'll put that information, and also we can put it into a tag, like a story slide, and just send me that story slide, and I can add that to my stories too, so people can opt in there.
Love it.
You know, I'm opting in. You know I'm opting in. Those first ones, the diamonds, I need those. Because I have short hair, I always, again, this is like a style, maybe it's a style limiting belief. I always felt like, first of all, Katie can't wear anything with a shoulder pad in it, otherwise I look like a linebacker. I am just broad shouldered. Anatomically, that's just the way it is.
Yeah.
Shoulder pads don't do me any favors. I'm cool with that. I'm not trying to like work that one out in my inner like self.
You have your own shoulder pads.
Yeah. I have built-in shoulder pads.
Yes.
So it's fine. But I also have a limiting belief that I can't wear a wide brim hat. Can't do it because I have no hair. There's no hair hanging down, so it just looks like the hat is literally swallowing me. I look like the guy from Curious George, you know, the man with the yellow hat. That's me.
No.
And then it's true. I've tried them all. In fact, Joss, I'm gonna mail you all my hats because they just don't work for me. They just don't. If I ever go, this is that thing where the girl's like, oh, I'm gonna lose 10 pounds, and then those skinny jeans, whatever. I'm like, oh, I'm just gonna grow my hair out, and then I can wear those hats. It's like, what is it even doing in my closet after all these years? It's not gonna happen. But I always felt like I couldn't wear big hoops either because of the short hair. But I'm letting go of that one. I'm buying those earrings.
Yeah, yeah. So here's my big babies, and here's these ones.
So great. They're so great. Jocelyn, I could not love you more. I really couldn't. I wish I could just give you
the feeling is so mutual. It's so mutual.
You are my number one. You knew I would call you first. Right? I'd be like, I got something big going on. I need you. Anyway, you're such a doll. I'm so honored to have you. All the wisdom you dropped, I know was so helpful and so honest, and just I hope it just really sunk in and hit somebody out there, you know, straight between the eyes and into their heart. And I just admire you so much, and I just thank you.
Love.
Thank you.
I love you, and I appreciate this opportunity. I just want people to just love life and be happy and let go of all the other shenanigans.
Yeah, nobody needs it. All right, guys. Thank you. I hope you have an amazing weekend.
Bye.
Bye.